Allman in the Morning. Common Sense Radio.
Good morning, you bunch of drunks.
Caledonia, Caledonia, seeing you walk by. Make a river, twist and shout, chase the birds down from the sky. Caledonia, Cucudonia, spirit of romance. Caledonia, Caledonia dance.
You have to admit I'm pretty good at the air guitar.
Oh, yeah. Killing it. It's because we didn't know how to learn. We don't know real instruments. We can't play them, so...
I know.
Air guitar is going to...
Do you realize... Yeah, because I was talking about how that's the one thing in life I've really missed out on, although I got an offer from somebody else, talk about that in a little bit, is playing a musical instrument. But I could air guitar really well, and I could air piano really well.
Air piano. Never saw that one.
Let's do that one next.
Yeah. Really. Yeah, absolutely. Little Robin Trower for you. That's old school right there, Katie Cates.
That sounds good.
Kelly Webb, you know Robin Trower.
I know who that is.
Well, I gotta get Katie up to date on that music.
Still waiting for Double Dutch Bus.
Ladies and gentlemen, J.J. Carafano, Jim Carafano.
There is something that you can do, you personally as an individual, to make the world safer for your children and your grandchildren. And that is listen to Allman in the Morning.
Jim is in beautiful Pennsylvania. My family still has a farm in Pennsylvania, friend.
Oh, that is so cool.
In Lancaster.
Yeah, we're not far from there. We're in Milford.
Oh, Milford.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, Denise's parents, they're up there now. They were visiting Gettysburg, and then they're going to go to Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Yes, home of the chocolate. Thing,
right.
And the park.
Well, now my family, on my mom's side, who came over with William Penn, who founded Pennsylvania in the 1600s, and they were farmers there and also bankers, ultimately, and they were Mennonites. And my great-great, I don't know how many greats go back, but my great-great-great-great-grandfather loaned Hershey some of the money to start the company, and they never paid him back.
Oh, wow.
So every time I go into like a 7-Eleven or a store, I just grab a Hershey's bar, and I say, I'll take that, thank you.
Yeah. So my history goes back pretty far. I once watched a Penn State football game.
Oh, really?
So yeah, that's my big association with the Keystone State. I've driven through it.
So you have there's a new documentary on missile defense called 33 Minutes, and you want to talk about that. But before we get to 33 minutes, let's get to 4 minutes, because that apparently is the big hubbub when Hillary Clinton said this at the debate. Here you go.
Here's the deal. The bottom line on nuclear weapons is that when the president gives the order, it must be followed. There's about 4 minutes between the order being given.
So anyway, she talked about that, and obviously people say it's treason, but I know it's not classified. But still, the idea of a presidential candidate or a president kind of talking about the nuclear procedure is just very uncomfortable.
Well, I am nonpartisan.
Yes.
I don't do politics, right? But the only thought that went through my head when they said that was, because she was also the one, remember in the last campaign, is who's the best person to get the 3 o'clock in the morning phone call. So the only crisis that we know that Hillary Clinton has ever dealt with was the attack on the U.S. mission at Benghazi. And we know how that came out, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if that's your argument is, you want somebody that's cool and collected in a crisis, then, give me a break. Contrast that with the bin Laden raid. Literally, the president and all these other yahoos had nothing to do with the bin Laden raid other than sitting there and listening for the results. So the iconic picture isn't even them watching the bin Laden raid. So they had nothing to do with that. And let's be honest, whoever was president of the United States, if somebody says we can go get bin Laden, what are they going to say? Like, no, it's a bad idea.
Right.
So, So the whole thing to me is just...
Well, she brought the bin Laden thing up at the debate where she said, while I was overseeing or whatever the bin Laden raid, you were doing The Apprentice or whatever that was. And it was like, well, I didn't... That was news to me that she was overseeing the bin Laden raid.
Right, yeah. I mean, particularly since it was done by the special... And this bothers me when anybody does an election. She says, well, 10 military people says that, and somebody else says, well, look, military people are there to serve their country. They're not there to do political endorsements. Now, somebody's retired, they want to say something, and that's fine. But when candidates are kind of invoking, this, I think, look, military people get a vote like anybody else, and then that's pretty much it. And then they have an opinion like everybody else. So there was a lot I heard, that made me kind of choke. But again, that's politics, and I don't live in that world. But it angsts me a little.
Right on. I agree. So what is 33 minutes? What is that?
So you may remember, back in before Obama was elected, we did a missile defense documentary called 33 Minutes. And what 33 minutes is the longest time it would take for a ballistic missile to get anywhere from the world to attack the United States. So presidents are faced with things in constrained timelines. There's no question about that. But we did that documentary because actually a lot was done during the Bush years to get missile defense on track, because essentially after Reagan announced it, Clinton came in and did nothing for 8 years, and we had basically had nothing on the books. And Bush came in, really did a lot to move that forward, and we were actually making very, very good progress. So we made this documentary and said, hey, we're finally making really good progress on missile defense. Let's keep it going. And so what we did is we went in and we recut the film. It was actually really cool. We went out to the original filmmaker in Colorado Springs, and we sat down in one day, and we recut the film, and I brought in some new experts, Genevieve Wood, who does a lot of work with us, and then Bruce Klinger, who's one of our missile defense experts and an expert on North Korea. And we updated the film. So it's shorter and it's very tight, but what's really important is it says, well, what's happened the last 8 years? And what shape we're in. And it's appalling because literally Obama has been in neutral on missile defense the last 8 years. They've canceled more capabilities than they fielded. The threat has progressed dramatically. And so what the film does in a very brief way is it explains what the problem is in missile defense in a very kind of short, clean way. And then we cut these new sections into the film to say, well, what happens and where are we now? And we're in terms of our ability to defend ourselves in missile defense, we're in bad shape because we've done very, very little the last 8 years. And I think it's one of these issues that people just don't know about. So we just put the film out there, and anybody can watch it. It's the number's 33, so it's 33-minutes.com, and it all comes right up, and it's all right there.
Wow. Okay, cool. I love it. So, and thanks for that tip-off, because I think it's very interesting and necessary for us to be aware of what's up here, because...
It's a very good film. I mean, it is. I think it is really. It's a very well done film, and it is kind of scary. Hundreds of thousands of people have already seen the thing since we've released it, which was just last week. And I get calls all the time from family friends. They go, "Why did you do that? I couldn't sleep last night." But it's important that people know this.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, Jimmy, what are you doing in Pennsylvania, by the way?
I'm going up to we're going up to West Point because I'm getting married next month.
Oh, wow.
And so we're actually going up to get our marriage license. So we can go back up next month and get married.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jimmy Carafano's getting married.
I know. It's so special.
Very
cool. We're getting married on the 40th anniversary of the day we met in the place we met. So we both met as students up at West Point.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to go up there and get hitched.
Well, you are both a great couple. We had the privilege of being able to hang out with you in Cleveland. And so that was very nice to meet her. And
yeah, Jill got better looking.
Great. Well, congratulations. We'll talk more about that down the line. And that's awesome news. All right, Jimmy. Well, thank you for the tip-off on 33 Minutes. Yeah. And we'll see you on Twitter, buddy.
And everybody in America now knows all about our family histories.
Right, exactly. Well, it's on a need-to-know basis.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. All right, see you, buddy.
At JJ Carafano, it's Common Sense Radio.